I found a love letter in my locker. No name, no clue, just one line. I've loved you for years. I thought it was a prank until I saw my best friend's handwriting. It was just another Monday morning. The corridors were buzzing with noise, the smell of coffee and perfume mixing like always. I was half asleep when I opened my locker, and there it was, a cream-colored envelope with my name written in soft cursive. No sender, no initials, just to Ria. At first I laughed. I thought maybe my friends were pranking me again. They loved doing silly things to lighten up my Mondays. But something about that handwriting, it was elegant, familiar, almost personal. I slipped it into my notebook and hurried to class, pretending not to care. All through history lecture, I couldn't focus. My eyes kept glancing at my bag. What if it was real? What if someone actually liked me? When class ended, I finally opened it. The paper smelled faintly of vanilla. Inside were just a few words. You smile like sunlight, and it's the only thing that makes my day bearable. My heart fluttered. No name, no clue, just that one line. That entire day, my mind played detective. Could it be Arav from the literature club? Or maybe Dev, who always sat beside me in chemistry? But then again, it could have been anyone. That night, I reread the letter at least 10 times before bed. It felt personal, deep, not like a random crush. And somehow I knew, whoever wrote it, they knew me well. The next morning, I decided to find out. If you found an anonymous love letter in your locker, would you tell your friends or keep it secret? The next morning, I walked into school earlier than usual, hoping to catch whoever was brave enough to slip that letter into my locker. My heart raced every time someone walked past, but nothing happened. No mysterious admirer appeared, no secret eyes watching me. By the time the first bell rang, I almost convinced myself it was a prank. That's when I saw him. Arav, my best friend since childhood. He waved at me from across the hallway, holding 2 cups of coffee like always. "Morning, detective," he teased. "Ready to solve the world's mysteries again?" I laughed it off, but his words made my stomach twist. He had no idea that my biggest mystery right now involved, possibly him. Arav had always been easygoing, funny, effortlessly kind. The kind of boy who made everyone feel safe. But never once had I seen him as more. We sat together in the canteen, our usual spot by the window. I kept sneaking glances at his notebook, the way he wrote, the way his letters curved. My heart nearly stopped when I noticed something. His handwriting, the same soft cursive. My chest tightened. No way. I tried to focus on what he was saying, but every time his pen moved, I saw the letter. The exact same slant in the Y, the same loop in the R. "Ria, are you even listening?" He laughed. Yeah, totally. You were saying something about the debate competition, right?" He grinned, shaking his head. "You're weird today. Everything okay?" I nodded quickly, hiding my nervous smile. After class, I went to the art room. My friend Mira was sketching something by the window. I told her about the letter. She gasped dramatically. "Oh my God, Ria! That's so romantic. Do you think it's Arav?" I froze. "Why would you say that?" She smirked. "Because everyone sees how he looks at you. You're just too oblivious to notice." I rolled my eyes, but deep down her words echoed. That evening, when I got home, I pulled out the letter again. The ink shimmered faintly under the lamp. Maybe I was imagining things. Maybe it wasn't him. But then again, why did it feel like every word came from someone who knew exactly how I felt when I was sad, tired, or happy? Someone who'd been beside me all along. I placed the letter in my diary, closed it gently, and whispered to myself, "If it's really you, Arav, please just tell me." But the next day, things got stranger. Would you confront your best friend if you suspected they were your secret admirer? Or wait for them to confess first? The next morning, I opened my locker half expecting to find nothing, but there it was again, another cream envelope, same soft handwriting, same faint scent of vanilla. My hands trembled as I picked it up. This time, there was more than one line. "You don't realize how special you are. The world feels quieter when you smile. I wish I had the courage to tell you in person, but I can't." Not yet I felt my heart skip. Whoever was writing these letters wasn't playing games. This was real. I looked around hoping to see someone watching me, but everyone seemed lost in their own morning chaos. I tucked the letter into my notebook and hurried to class. Arav was already there, sitting by the window like always. He looked at me and smiled, that same calm smile that always made me feel safe. "Hey," he said softly. "You okay?" "You look distracted lately." I stared at him for a few seconds, then blurted out, "Arav, do you believe in secret admirers?" He chuckled. "What? Like love letters and stuff?" Yeah, that he leaned back, pretending to think. Maybe. Some people just don't know how to say things out loud. They hide behind letters. My pulse quickened. "Would you ever do something like that?" He grinned. "Me? Nah, I'm not mysterious enough for that." He took a sip of coffee and winked. "Besides, if I like someone, I'd just tell her." His words made me feel both relieved and disappointed. If it wasn't him, then who? That evening, I couldn't stop thinking about the handwriting, the tone, the way the letters seemed to know me too well. I decided to test something. The next day, I wrote a small note and slipped it into my own locker before lunch. It said, "If you're real, leave me a sign. Tell me something only you'd know I didn't expect an answer." But when I came back after class, my heart almost stopped. Inside my locker was a folded napkin with a single line written on it. "You still hate mango ice cream, right?" I froze. That was something only one person in the entire world knew. Arav. My throat went dry. My hands shook as I reread that line over and over. It had to be him. But if it was, why was he pretending not to know? And if it wasn't, then who else could possibly know that? That night, I couldn't sleep. My mind was a storm of memories. Every laugh, every conversation, every late-night chat with Arav. Was my best friend secretly in love with me? Or was someone else pretending to be him? If you got a love letter revealing something only your best friend would know, what would you do? Ask them directly or keep observing quietly? I couldn't focus on anything the next morning. My heart felt like it was carrying a secret too heavy to hide. Every time Arav spoke, I caught myself analyzing his tone, his words, even the way he looked at me. It was like my brain was trying to find hidden meanings in everything he said. By lunchtime, Mira noticed something was off. "Okay, spill it," she said, biting into her sandwich. "You've been spacing out for days. Is it about the mystery lover again?" I sighed. pulling the napkin from my diary. He replied. Her eyes widened. No way, what did he say? I hesitated, then whispered. He mentioned something only Arav could know. Mira nearly choked. Wait, are you serious? Then it has to be him. Yeah, I said softly, but when I asked him, he denied everything. He even joked about it. She leaned closer. Maybe he's shy. Guys act weird when they're scared of rejection. Her words lingered in my head all day. Could Arav really be scared of telling me? He'd always been confident about everything else. But love? Maybe that's different. After class, we walked home together like we always did. The sun dipped low, painting the sky in gold and orange. Our shadows stretched long on the pavement. Arav carried both our bags like he usually did, and every now and then, he'd glance at me, almost like he wanted to say something. When we reached my gate, he stopped. Hey, he said softly. You've been quiet lately. Did I do something? No, I replied quickly, too quickly. Just tired. He nodded, though his eyes told me he didn't believe it. All right, but if something's bothering you, you can tell me, okay? His voice was gentle, warm, the same voice that used to comfort me when I cried, after bad exams or stupid fights with my parents. I nodded, forcing a smile. I know. He smiled back, waved, and left. As soon as he turned the corner, I felt tears sting my eyes. If he really was the one writing those letters, why couldn't he just say it? Why hide behind paper and ink when he was right there every day? That night, another letter appeared. It was tucked under my window this time. My heart pounded as I opened it. I saw you walking with him again today. He doesn't see you the way I do. One day you'll understand who truly loves you. My stomach dropped. This wasn't from Arav. Whoever wrote this had been watching me. And suddenly the love letter mystery didn't feel romantic anymore. It felt personal. If your secret admirer started watching you secretly, would you feel flattered or scared? The next morning felt strange. Every step I took down the corridor, I felt eyes on me. Maybe I was imagining it, or maybe that last letter had changed everything. I couldn't tell anymore. When I opened my locker, my breath caught. There was another note. No envelope this time. Just a folded piece of plain paper with hurried handwriting. You looked beautiful in yellow today. I wish I could tell you that in person. I froze. I wasn't wearing yellow today. I'd worn it yesterday. That meant whoever wrote this had been watching me, well, not just once, but constantly. I scanned the hallway, but everyone looked normal, chatting, laughing, living their own lives. Still, my heart wouldn't calm down. I rushed to class, clutching the letter tightly. Arav noticed right away. Hey, you okay? He asked. You look pale. I hesitated, then said, someone's been leaving me letters. Weird ones? He frowned. Weird how? I swallowed hard. Like they know things about me they shouldn't. They even mentioned you in one of them. His expression darkened. Me? What did they say? That you don't see me the way they do. Arav's jaw tightened. That's not funny, Ria. Someone's clearly stalking you. I know, I whispered, but I don't know who. For the first time, I saw genuine worry in his eyes. Show me the letters. After class, we sat behind the library where no one usually came. I handed him all the letters, my fingers trembling. He read them one by one, his eyes narrowing. When he reached the last one, the one about him, he exhaled slowly. This isn't a joke, Ria. Whoever this is, they're watching you closely. Do you think it's someone from school? I asked. Maybe. Or someone who knows you well. Like who? He looked at me for a long moment, then said quietly, Mira? I blinked. What? No way, she's my best friend too. I'm not saying she's guilty, he said. But think about it. She's always around. She knows everything about you. I shook my head, refusing to believe it. Mira wasn't like that. She was dramatic, yes, but never creepy. Still, that night, when I reread all the letters, I noticed something I hadn't before. The ink color changed halfway through. The first two letters had blue ink. The rest were black. Two different pens. Maybe two different people. My heart raced. Was it possible that more than one person was writing to me? Or worse, had someone else discovered the first admirer and taken over? That thought haunted me all night, because for the first time, I wasn't sure who to trust anymore. If you found out your love letters might be coming from two different people, would you confront both suspects? Or keep pretending you didn't know? The next morning, I walked into school early again. My plan was simple. Catch whoever was leaving those letters. I stood by the corridor near my locker, pretending to scroll through my phone, my heartbeat loud in my ears. Minutes passed. The hallway stayed quiet. Then I saw someone walking toward me, Mira. She froze when she saw me standing there. Ria, you're here early, she said, smiling nervously. Yeah, I replied, forcing calm into my voice. Just organizing stuff. She nodded, then walked past me to her own locker. My eyes followed every move she made. No letters, no envelopes, nothing. Maybe Arav was wrong. Maybe I was overthinking everything. I sighed and turned to open my locker. And there it was again. Another letter. My heart jumped. I looked around. No one was near me. I'd been watching the hallway the entire time. How was that possible? With trembling fingers, I opened it. I wish I could tell you everything today. But you're not ready to hear the truth. Just know I'm not the only one who loves you. A chill ran down my spine. Not the only one. Before I could even process what that meant, Arav appeared. He looked worried. You got another one, didn't you? I nodded, unable to speak. Okay, enough, he said firmly. We're ending this today. He grabbed my hand, warm, steady, and led me outside. We went to the campus security room where the CCTV monitors were kept. Arav explained everything to the guard who sighed but agreed to help. We can check yesterday's camera footage near the lockers. I stood there, clutching my bag, my heart pounding as the footage rolled. For a while, there was nothing. Just students walking by, chatting, laughing. Then suddenly, around 6:40 a.m., a figure appeared near my locker. It was blurry at first, but then the camera zoomed in slightly, and I gasped. It was Mira. She looked around quickly, pulled something from her bag, and slipped it into my locker before rushing away. My knees went weak. Arav's eyes widened. Ria! I shook my head, whispering, no, there has to be an explanation. Maybe she was helping someone. Maybe, but deep down, I knew. The next day, I confronted her. Mira, I know about the letters. Her face went pale. Ria, please, let me explain. Why, Mira? Why would you do this? Tears filled her eyes. Because I didn't want you to end up with him. Who? I asked, voice breaking. She looked away, whispering, Arav. I knew he liked you. I just wanted you to see someone else first. Me. My world tilted. I stood frozen, her confession hanging heavy between us. If your best friend admitted they were behind the love letters, just to stop you from falling for someone else, would you forgive them or walk away? I stood frozen as Mira's words echoed in my head. She looked so fragile, her voice trembling as she whispered, I didn't mean to hurt you, Ria. I just wanted you to notice me. Notice you? I asked quietly, my heart twisting. You're my best friend, Mira. I already see you every day. She shook her head, tears spilling down her cheeks. No, not like that. You see me as a friend? I wanted you to see me as someone who cares for you more than anyone else ever could. Her confession shattered something inside me. I'd never even imagined that Mira could feel that way. We'd been inseparable since childhood, sharing clothes, secrets, dreams, but never this. So all those letters, I whispered, they weren't from a stranger. They were from you? She nodded slowly. At first, yes. But later, her voice faded. Later what? She hesitated, eyes darting away. Later, someone else started sending letters too. My heart skipped. Someone else? She nodded, biting her lip. I found one in your locker one morning. The handwriting was different. I thought you'd think it was still me, so I didn't say anything. But that last one? The one about seeing you walk with him? That wasn't me. My blood ran cold. So you're saying there's another person writing to me? Yes, she said softly. And I think it's someone who doesn't like seeing you with Arav. Before I could respond, a voice came from behind us. Then you should have just told her the truth. We both turned. Arav stood there, his face pale, eyes dark with something I couldn't read. Arav, I whispered, my throat tightening. He looked at Mira first. You should have stopped before this got out of hand. Mira shook her head. You don't understand. You were never going to tell her how you felt. Arav's jaw clenched. That wasn't your decision to make. My mind spun. Wait, what's going on? Arav looked at me, finally meeting my eyes. She's right about one thing. I should have told you long ago. I liked you, Ria. I still do. Everything went silent. I could hear my own heartbeat pounding in my ears. You liked me? I asked faintly. He nodded. Yes, but I didn't send those letters. I thought it would scare you. I wanted to tell you face to face. I turned toward Mira, whose face crumpled in guilt. You knew? She nodded, whispering. Yes, that's why I did it. I thought if I distracted you, maybe you wouldn't look at him the same way. I didn't know whether to cry or scream. The two people I trusted most had been hiding from me, one out of love, the other out of fear. And somewhere in the middle of their secrets, I had lost the truth. If two of your closest friends confessed love to you, one honestly, one through lies, who would you listen to first and why? The silence that followed Arav's confession felt unbearable. My chest tightened, my hands cold. Everything I thought I knew about my friend suddenly felt like a lie. I can't believe this, I whispered. You both were keeping things from me, and yet someone else out there is watching me? Arav stepped forward carefully. Ria, I swear, I had nothing to do with those last letters. You have to believe me. Mira wiped her eyes. He's telling the truth. The handwriting changed. It wasn't his or mine. For a moment, none of us spoke. The soft hum of ceiling fans filled the classroom like background noise to my racing thoughts. If it wasn't them, then who was still writing to me? That evening, I couldn't stop thinking about it. The final letters had details only someone from school could know. What I wore, who I talked to, where I sat in class. That meant it was someone nearby. I went through each letter again, carefully this time. The last one had a faint fingerprint smudge at the corner, and a slight ink stain that looked familiar. I'd seen that same stain once before, on someone's hand in class. Rohit, a quiet boy from our group project, always sitting 2 rows behind me, always watching silently. The next day, I decided to test my theory. I wore a yellow top, the color mentioned in one of the letters. During lunch, I walked past his desk casually, pretending to check my phone. He looked up just once, his eyes lingering too long. My heartbeat quickened. After school, I went to my locker again. My palms were sweaty as I opened it. Nothing. For a brief second, I almost relaxed, until I noticed a tiny folded paper slipped between the vents. I pulled it out. My breath caught. You looked lovely today in yellow again. I knew you'd wear it for me. My blood ran cold. I turned around, and there he was. Rohit, standing at the end of the hallway, staring at me. He smiled faintly, almost shyly, like he didn't realize how unsettling it looked. I froze. My voice barely came out. Why are you doing this? He walked closer, his tone soft but strange. Because you never noticed me. Not once. You always looked at Arav. I just wanted to show you how much I see you, how much I care. I stepped back, fear crawling up my spine. That's not care, Rohit. That's obsession. His smile faded. No, it's love. You just don't understand it yet. Before he could say another word, Arav appeared from behind him, grabbing his arm. She said stop. Rohit glared at him, eyes dark, voice trembling. You don't deserve her. Arav pushed him back gently but firmly. And you don't scare her again. Rohit stormed off, muttering something under his breath. I stood there, shaking, my knees weak. Arav turned to me, concern flooding his face. Are you okay? I nodded, though tears filled my eyes. I don't know. I really don't know anymore. If you discovered your admirer had turned obsessive, would you forgive them, confront them calmly, or report them immediately? That night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Rohit's face, that unsettling calmness, that twisted sense of love. The letters that once made me smile now felt like ghosts whispering in my ear. Mom noticed my silence at breakfast. Are you okay, Beta? You've been quiet these days, I forced a smile. Just school stuff, Ma. She touched my hand gently. You don't have to handle everything alone. But that was exactly what I'd been doing. For weeks, I'd kept my emotions locked behind smiles and polite nods, and now that the truth had exploded, I didn't know how to pick up the pieces. At school, people whispered. The confrontation with Rohit had spread faster than wildfire. Some said Arav fought for me. Others said I had led Rohit on. None of them knew the truth. or how terrifying it felt to have your own life turned into gossip. I avoided everyone that day, everyone except Arav. When I saw him waiting near the old banyan tree behind the school, a place we used to study together, something in me softened. He didn't say much, just held out a small packet of my favorite chocolate milk. You looked like you needed this. I let out a tiny laugh, my first real one in days. You remembered. He smiled faintly. I remember everything about you, Ria. Even the things you try to hide. We sat in silence, sipping from our cartons. The sun filtered through the leaves above, painting golden dots on the ground. For once, the world felt still. After a long pause, I whispered, I don't think I'll ever be the same again. Arav looked at me gently. You don't have to be the same. You just have to be stronger. And maybe, let people help you this time. His words stayed with me. That evening, I went through the letters one last time. Not as a frightened girl, but as someone ready to move forward. I tore them carefully, not out of anger, but as a quiet promise to myself. The letters had given me memories, lessons, and heartbreak, but they no longer controlled me. The next day, I walked into class with my head held higher. Mira hugged me tight. I missed you, idiot. I smiled. I missed you too. As I took my seat, Arav looked up and smiled across the room. It wasn't the smile of the boy who wrote secret letters. It was the smile of someone who had stayed, even when everything fell apart. And for the first time, my heart didn't ache. It felt calm. It felt free. Do you believe emotional healing can ever bring two people closer again, even after betrayal and fear? It had been a month since everything happened. The storm had passed, but its traces still lingered like soft shadows around me. Some days I still caught myself glancing at the hallway, half expecting another letter to appear in my locker. But all that greeted me now was calm, quiet, ordinary calm. Arav and I had grown closer again. Not in the same way as before, but in a gentler, more grounded way. We talked more, laughed softly, and shared silent moments without needing explanations. He never pressured me to define us, he just stayed. And sometimes that's all a heart needs. One evening, while cleaning my desk, I found a blank envelope, the same kind the letters used to come in. For a long time, I stared at it. Then, without really deciding to, I sat down and began to write. Dear Ria, I started, my pen trembling. You spent so long searching for who wrote to you, you forgot to write to yourself. You forgot to tell yourself that you are brave, that even when fear whispered, you still showed up, that your worth was never in someone's attention but in your own reflection. Tears filled my eyes as I continued, each word washing something away. You don't need someone to tell you you're special. You already are. You've been hurt, yes, but you've also healed. You've learned that love is not always in flowers or words. Sometimes it's in choosing peace over chaos. When I finished, I sealed the envelope and wrote on it, to open when you forget who you are. It wasn't a love letter from someone else this time. It was from me, to me. The next morning at school, Arav found me sitting under the banyan tree again. He smiled. Writing something new? I smiled back, holding up the envelope. Just a little reminder. He nodded, eyes soft. Good. You deserve that. The breeze rustled the leaves above us, carrying the scent of jasmine from somewhere nearby. It felt like life itself was exhaling, finally letting me breathe again. I realized then, I didn't need grand gestures or secret letters to feel loved. Love was already within me, in my courage to forgive, in my strength to start again, in my ability to still hope. As the bell rang, Arav walked beside me. We didn't hold hands, but our steps matched, perfectly in sync. And somehow that felt enough, because sometimes the greatest mystery isn't who loves you. It's realizing that the love you were searching for was yours all along. If you could write a letter to your younger self right now, what would you say?